Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Emergency Magic, first off, thank you again so much for the donation. Yo, can I get a retake about that? Emergency Magic, thank you so much for the donation. As promised, I will be talking about Kucalon this video. Now, for a very long time, I was thinking about who to even pair her up against, and after very long deliberation, I've come to the conclusion that I will use the Darkest Knight, or his other name, the Batman who laughs last. Quickly, the reason why I wanted to use him was because over the years, I have put a lot of disrespect on the versus DC as a whole, and I even downplayed the Darkest Knight in my past videos. I'm kind of over that shit. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, and to gain the most respect for each community, and on top of that, to give the respect to the verses, because I don't hate DC at all. So with that being said, I'm going to be covering DC or the Darkest Knight once again, but with a little less bias. I know, crazy. What is this? Othinus maturing? No way. Don't get me wrong though, some of the fanboys for each fanbase are still just brain dead incels. I mean, you've seen the comments from each individual. There's always that one guy saying some dumb shit. Anyways, let's start with the Batman who laughs last. For the Batman who laughs last, he's able to manipulate physics. The cards he distributed are able to fulfill the hoarder's desires, converting large sections of Gotham City into nightmarish forms of the preferred domains of Batman's greatest rogues. They could also rewrite and defy the laws of physics, hence manipulation of physics. With his really shitty toy Batarangs, he can infect people and turn them into something similar to the Batman who laughs last. Because, you know, just DC Comics being DC Comics, he was able to learn dark magic, capable of caging and killing the dark multiverse specter of his own world. The basic feats for the Batman who laughs last are honestly kind of irrelevant and stupid, not really needed to talk about, but again, to be fair, I have to talk about them no matter how useless they might be. Because let's be honest, you don't give a shit about his base feats, I don't give a shit about his base feats, but we still need to talk about his shitty base feats. The Darkest Knight possesses an understanding of the workings of the universe on a cosmic scale. He's able to feel the dark multiverse as if it were a part of him. He also has the ability to control people's minds to a certain extent. He's also able to look into the future of his own timeline, as well as the future of every Batman in the dark multiverse. So with this being said, I guess he has precognition, but it's like not like battle precognition. It's like clairvoyance, future foresight. I don't know. It's not battle applicable. As that's what I'm trying to say. The Darkest Knight can also use what's known as shadow clone jutsu. Okay, he can just duplicate himself. He also has the power to take apart inanimate objects and living beings. Because of his godly-like power that he just got randomly, he created a world to trap the speedsters in. For some odd reason, the creators just said fuck it and give him telekinesis on top of everything. You know, that's just one thing I never understood about like comic books in general. Like, you have infinite like worlds, right? Because it's already been established in DC and Marvel that there's just infinite worlds, Earths, multiverses, whatever. It's already been established. We already know this. The Darkest Knight is able to traverse between various realities in the multiverse, as well as reach into these worlds at will. You know, when I made a video about this character like a year or two ago, for some reason I thought he was stronger. Like, I don't know, like maybe more Haxus. Like at that time when I first talked about him, it was like the impression that people gave like off to me was that he was completely and utterly broken in terms of scaling and power and Haxus and everything that goes with that. I'm not getting that vibe again. Maybe it's been a while, or maybe they just overhyped him, but I'm not getting that vibe like I used to. The Darkest Knight is full of connective energy, which represents all of the positive power of creation. Another way to say this is that he just possesses the energy of every crisis in history. Batman Hatton reintegrated his body's molecules after he was disintegrated. So this is basically like type 3, type 4 immortality. And this is something I want to touch upon too, right? Like, there are a lot of gods and like deities or all-powerful like beings that have crazy immortality Haxes. The Batman who laughs last actually does not have like a high immortality regeneration like type 8 or type 9. And that's kind of surprising. I really thought he would. And again, I'm not downplaying him. I literally have been rereading everything and I could not find anything that would give him a type 8 immortality. It's kind of crazy if you think about it. The Darkest Knight is a being made of energy, pure energy. Basically, he has an inorganic physiology. Now we can get to what I guess we all know about, or what the Darkest Knight is most known for, as he did create the last 52 multiverses, or whatever that's, last 52 multiverses. Correct me if I'm wrong, but at this point, it's quite obvious that there are infinite dimensions and infinite timelines in DC via the Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is getting kind of ridiculous at this point. The Batman who laughs last can also use summoning jutsu. Bro's copying Naruto right now. He teleported his dark multiverse army of zombie flashes behind Barry Allen, Wally West, and Jay Garrett to chase them down. Well, I guess if he teleported zombies to like another dimension, realm, plane, whatever it is, I guess that's technically BFR, so he could just BFR people whenever he wants. He ripped apart stories of beings of the multiverse in his fight with Perpetua, a fundamental aspect of their existence. Now, I want to quickly touch upon how he ripped apart stories of the beings of the multiverse. This is not plot manipulation. He's not manipulating the narrative. He's not really like changing something like Rufus did when she was fighting Venus. Like the plot manipulation here could be seen or taken out of context to fit the narrative of that he's way more powerful than he actually is. But in reality, if you read the script and know the context of this, he's not really manipulating the plot. It's just saying that, but it's just part of like the basic storyline created by the author. He's not manipulating the fucking story. He can enlarge himself into the size of several planets, and he holds the sun in the palm of his hand. So he's a big boy now. Must be compensating if y'all know what I mean. Lastly, he has the ability to seal beings away. After being empowered with the Crisis energy, he became more powerful than ever. Reality shook in response to its new dark god. Refugees from the remaining universes felt his presence from one end of the respective universes to the other. The last powers of the sphere of the god shuddered at his might, and the lights of the hypertime went out. He is stronger than Perpetua, and their clash raged across facets of reality, according to the chronicler, who stated that the stories of the multiverse were tearing apart because of them, and ultimately resulted in Perpetua's death. Again, plot manipulation taken out of context. He didn't actually destroy the narrative or any of that bullshit. Now, this is something important that I didn't like really cover last time when talking about him, but the sixth dimension in the DC verse is where Perpetua exists, meaning that she dwells outside the source wall. Perpetua does transcend time and space and the infinite multiverses of the greater omniverse, appearing to her as bubbles. Now, the scan that everybody like shows can always be taken out of context because it doesn't explicitly state time and space, so you can make the argument for outerversal. That's why the Darkest Knight and Perpetua are considered to be outerversal. Since the Darkest Knight did fight her and defeat her in the sixth dimension, you could like literally say that the scaling for outerversal does apply to the Batman who laughs last. But like it's just kind of weird, like how it says imagination and everything or whatever. Like it doesn't say transcend time and space. We are to like infer that it does. We are to speculate that it does, only because like it's kind of in our nature to assume something like that. But I don't know. It's very loosely said. That's why like he has the outerversal scaling and then the like what was it, the multiversal scaling or something like that, because it never specifically said transcend. We are to infer it said transcend. I don't know, take it as you will, and you discuss it in the comments if you'd like. But for this video, to not downplay the verse, I will say that he does, giving him an outerversal scaling. Since we're finally done talking about the Darkest Knight, we can move on to someone who you guys actually care about. Kucalon makes your way to the YouTube channel, and honestly, I don't give a fuck what y'all nerds say. Jean d'Arc Alter is the best and hottest character servant in the Fate series. Fuck you and fuck your opinion. Kucalon is a Mayan divine spirit. Very important. Need to first establish that. She boasts her supernatural strength as shown when she punched through Tezcatlipoca's probability manipulation smoke with a single Mayan punch. The blow not only knocked out Huitzilopochtli, oh Jesus God almighty, but shook the entire Silome temple as well. Yo, these Mayan words, bro, I cannot pronounce these worth a damn. Kukulan was able to cut through the satellite class's ornamental threads, forming a spider web. She helps Chaldea fight Or until it ceases activity and starts to reactivate itself for the first time. Later on, Kukulan blocks the Grand Foreigner or Exibilia's solar storm after flying at Mach speed without breaking the sound barrier. Kukulon then fights Or Zybala and annihilates it. Then Or manifests again, but now in its star cell form. Since Or will continue to revive as long as the sun Michelon exists. She's like, fuck these names, bro. Kucalon resorts to activating her interstellar voyage engine and detonates the sun. This not only defeats Ort, but burned away all of the fantasy trees in the Lost Belt. Again, that's actually very important due to power scaling, but you already know how powerful the Lost Belts are and the fantasy trees are due to the NASU scaling and the previous video I made about it. Also, I do want to give a huge shout out to my homie Solomon. He did help me out with a lot of these scans for Kucalon, only because I just don't have time to do this. I am so busy, and to have people help me give scans to make videos makes like me pumping out content so much easier. So thank you, Solomon. Thank you so much. His YouTube channel will be in the description if you do want to subscribe to him. One of her noble phantasms manifests destructive winds as she has an authority that allows her to be involved in the creation of worlds. As an ultimate one, she can amplify her stats, causing even the energy acceleration efficiency around the time space she inhabits to rise as well. With this, she has access to limited reality warping and statistics amplification. But don't worry guys, it gets better. Gods prior to decline of the Age of Gods ruled the world and were the primates of the planet, not human. The personifications of concepts, the world belonged to them, of course, and they form many aspects of the world. Basically, this just gives Kucalon an abstract existence, but that just kind of comes with the territory of being a divine servant in general. Since she is a divine spirit, she inherently has a higher dimensional existence. Gods can only die after all who remember them are gone. Basically, this is type 8 immortality, but she has type 9 immortality due to the Throne of Heroes. Gods in the NASUverse also have soul manipulation. As an example of this is with Astarte Origin, not dying with her soul being ripped out or ripped apart, being further backed up by Tiamat and reconstructing her own soul after it was destroyed. You motherfuckers would be surprised at what else she can do. Kucalon can warp all of reality and she can control gravity. Oh, also, I know I briefly mentioned that she has typed immortality via the Throne of Heroes, but it is important to know that she actually has type 9 immortality negation. This was because she was able to damage the Throne of Heroes. Any divine servant or heroic spirit, or a majority of heroic spirits, sorry, since they are recorded through the Throne of Heroes, they inherently have type 9 immortality. For those who don't know what type 9 immortality is or defined as, it is characters whose true selves exist independently from a plane where they can be killed. This is a perfect example of heroic spirits. Remember guys, heroic spirits are free from the constraints of time itself and are removed from the ring of reincarnation. They are moved to the Throne of Heroes, a place existing outside of both of the worlds and the time axis. Again, if you really don't believe me, you can find this in the Fate Complete Material Volume 3 or Book 3. She has access to solar, light, heat, pressure, and density manipulation. Kucalon is not bound to the rules of the verse as she is a god. Essentially, this just means she has a causality type 5. She can manipulate the laws of the world and she can manipulate the concepts. Divine spirits currently do exist in the human world as they exist in a higher dimensional place called the reverse side of the world, which is a world built on laws follow, which is different from laws that the humans follow, which is practically impossible for humans and gods to coexist due to the difference in those said laws. Additional gods' laws don't include the laws of physics before, like heaven and earth, as they were separated laws of physics and it never really was a thing, and it only came to exist when the gods moved to the reverse side of the world and came to be one of the laws humans now follow, which are different from the gods. Now, she has a non-existent physiology, and again, she does have type 8 and type 9 immortality. Basically, she has dual immortality, again, via the Throne of Heroes. Since she does have access to the abilities of the authorities, this grants her fate manipulation, probability manipulation, time manipulation, reality warping, and law manipulation. I know I repeated myself here, but I really want to nail in the fact that she is kind of OP with the authorities, giving her massive power, and she defeated Ort too, so that's kind of a huge thing. Speaking of her authority, with authority of a god, she's able to resist any hacks unless the person that she's fighting against has a higher authority than her. So for example, let me explain it like this. In the Fate verse, let's just take like heroic spirits and then like divine spirits, for example. You have like Karna and Gilgamesh who are divine spirits, and then you'll have like a servant below them, we'll just say Muramasa, for example. The fact that Gilgamesh has a higher authority than Muramasa in this case would imply that the hacks that Muramasa has would not work on Gilgamesh. Kind of makes sense? So that would be translated to like, if the Darkest Night doesn't have like an authority authority or hacks-based power that would be superior to Kucalon, which he doesn't, there's no way the person of a lesser hacks could win. Given the nature of the NASUverse cosmology, it's pretty obvious that Kucalon outscales. Now, I also know I didn't talk about Kucalon's personal skills or her class skills, but I just really didn't think that they were needed for this. The power of her authorities and all the hacks that were given and the power level that she has displayed, it really wasn't needed. I mean, if you really want to know what it is, I guess I could talk about it, but it's just not worth it, and this video is already like very long as it is. But if you really want to know, just go on Google, look it up, it's over there. The Darkest Knight is outer-versal, but again, that's only because he fought Perpetua. That's about it though. I can't give the Darkest Knight a high outer scale rating or scale because it's just not true. I don't really see how he would ever scale to high outer, but he can definitely scale to outer-versal if we take what I said earlier to be true and, you know, kind of use the time and space transcending thing. Even though it was never stated, it was implied. Obviously, Kucalon is a high outer, just obviously based on oh my god, bro, my brain is not braining right now. Based on the Throne of Heroes, the whole entire NASUverse cosmology, the video I made previously. Technically, you could even go higher than that because she's a divine spirit. But there's not really need to mention speed. Obviously, Kucalon with speed blitz, AP, hacks, durability, all go to Kucalon. The Darkest Knight is very powerful. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to downplay the character like I used to. But what I'm saying is that it really doesn't matter who like I put up against a fate character, because 90% of the time, the fate character or the fate servant will always win. It's just the nature of the cosmology. It's just the nature of like how servants are. Like, they are just inherently better. I'm not saying DC is weak or anything anymore. Yeah, anymore. But it's just given the nature of the cosmology of the NASUverse. I don't know. Maybe the Darkest Knight could beat like the Hulk or something, or the Sentry. I don't know. Are they powerful? I don't fucking know. I did what I did. I put some respect on the Darkest Knight's abilities. I put some respect on the DC verse while making a video talking about Kucalon. Musashi video is coming soon, but it'll be after I do a poll upload, only because I want to alternate, only because I know you guys probably want to vote on him. It's been a while, so I will do that for you guys. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Like, subscribe, all that dumb shit, and get excited for future videos. Peace.